All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is game one of the other semi-final, and this is between SY and Finland. Finland is also known as Suomi, so I'll probably call them a mix of both. With me, I have Barbecue Turkman. Turkman, it has been a lot of fun casting so far today, man. I'm going to start with the Finland's team, and then I'll pass you along to SY. We have the Max in the orange, believe it or not. Normally plays teal, but he's playing as the orange Britain player in game one for his team. And then we have Zupi in the red playing as the Franks.
Towards the north of the map for both players, for SY, we have Yo playing as the Mayans, and then his partner in crime going to be Alex playing in the green as the Franks. Franks we've seen a lot of, actually, thus far.
Yeah, Franks is a pretty sure pick for game one, I noticed. Or for any, they kind of get it out of the way, but for any role where you'd want to go scouts into knights, it's a pretty strong civ economically and a very strong civ with military as well. A big difference maker here is we do not have Mayans for Max. We have Britons. So Britons, they'll be making archers out of their archer ranges most likely, and then upgrading them to crossbow, while Mayans, they'll need the time to get to plumed archers. And plumed archers are better when they get there, but will they take losses in the process of getting there?
I think that's a pretty strong analysis straight up, because that's the big difference we're going to see overall here. And when they kind of come into their element, that's going to be the piece where it comes down to essentially the Frank player. We want to see them kind of hold the game, put up that bulk, kind of like we saw in the first set. If they put up that bulk so they can kind of get through there, build up to it and get there, that's absolutely awesome. But the question is, will they make it?
Yeah, well, we'll find out soon enough. I want to look at the maps briefly because walling up can be very important. Max's base is pretty solid, man. He's already going to build the houses across the front, but 2 lumber lines he can take, or 2 wood lines he can take. He has that gold and stone on the back. It doesn't really get any better than that. He could easily wall in from this area to the right of his berries towards this wood line and then the edge of the map. That's good. We'll look at his ally now, Zupi. Zupi has a back gold, I can see right off the bat. 2 back wood lines. Not quite as wallable, but I still think this is a great situation for him. And then what do you think about the SY players and their wall ability, Turkman?
Looking at the SY, Alex is pretty good there. If you kind of start from the right-hand side of the map and move your way towards the center, you can see there's one kind of area there. If he walls nice and to the top of it anyway, he can kind of make sure his gold's nice and safe. And he's already got a house up between his stone and wood line there as well. So he can kind of push that, but he does have this big open side here on the flank.
Yeah.
That kind of presents a little bit of a worry. Obviously, if he gets his barracks and that up across there, he can close it pretty easy, but it will take some dedication. As for Yo, kind of looking towards the same situation. He can wall off the sides relatively easy, and then he's still got this large open area in the front, which, again, if you throw up your military buildings and things effectively, you'll be all right. What have you seen?
Well, the stone. I mean, all 3 stones are there. He obviously wants to go for plumes, so that is not ideal. It's kind of a risk, I guess, when you choose a civ like Mayans where you need the unique unit. You're just hoping that you have a relatively safe stone. You're hoping you can wall up. Even the deer kind of giving him a hard time here and bugging out and running back. So, just some small things for Mr. Yo. If Max scouts that, they might abuse that. I wouldn't normally expect someone to build 1 single tower, but maybe 1 single tower would make sense here. If you could send a Vil forward, just tower it, you know?
That's it. If he scouts that and he kind of catches it, it's enough to delay that anyway. Just be like the right amount of annoying.
Yeah.
And if you can do that, kind of push him back, and that's what we said, we're talking about that transitional period. If you keep pushing that back through all these little things, it adds up quite quickly.
Yep. Well, we'll find out here. I really want to know if Max will go right to Castle Age or if he'll go for Feudal Age Archers. Because if he goes for Feudal Age Archers, it would actually be good here because he would deny that stone from Yo. But it seems like he's going for Drush. So a Dark Age Rush or a Militia Rush into a fast castle. We'll see if he can get through what walls Yo will place. And then the Frank players, no surprise, they're on their way to scouts, and they're advancing to Feudal Age as we speak.
Yeah, we kind of expected that one from the get-go, so to see that going ahead is always nice. That militia, of course, if you can kind of get off a good one with that, and there's the militia coming out from well, so it looks like we will be seeing that little bit of a drush fight, or probably getting towards a closer to a more man-at-arms fight by the time things actually start going down, but the Max at the moment, throwing up some walls, getting pretty effective now.
Yeah, and Yo was going for the drush as well. I feel like Yo would normally full wall an FC, but on a map like this, he needs to buy himself a little bit of time, so he's going to go for that same strategy. And there's this signal right now from Mr. Yo. He's signaling to his ally, saying, hey, get here with your scout. You can see it moving in, And this could give SY a small little victory here. I mean, it's already a victory that Yo's not being troubled at home. And that Max is chasing him. And there's also a wolf chasing him, which is not great.
Ooh, not a good start. But both players, yeah, getting their allies involved kind of as possible here. We can even see Zappy was scout across quite quickly. So they are going to be able to try and, I guess, team this as much as possible. But that wolf going to get a little bit of extra damage in there, which might be enough to help out.
Yeah, I think it's really about the scouts, honestly, because players will be walled, and Lix loses a lot of HP on his scout. And more scouts will, of course, be on the way, but better micro there for Finland slightly. And again,
here we go. Here's the fight. We've got the scout in there on top. All the scouts here trying to make it happen.
Yeah. So, will Lix be able to kill Max's scout? That's not going to happen. Oh, nice micro there. Nice micro.
Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, that one militia. Will he change things? Will he decide things? Look at these scouts.
This is the beginning of the end.
5 HP and 6 HP, or 8 HP, right? Oh, okay.
Man.
Yeah, not enough for Lix. Not enough.
Gets the scout. There you go. Lix not looking so good without that one. That's pretty much all his military.
Yeah.
But what do we have a look at back home? Lix has gone for that giant wall across the bottom side of his map there, so he's kind of trying to get across. And there's the military going up towards the front as well. So it looks like they could be even going for a team wall at this stage. If you kind of follow it along, you can see where Yo's joined up. And Yo going none of that.
Yeah.
Kind of walling off a little bit extra.
I think it's, with the scouts out and about, it's too risky to wall across like that. Certainly something that they could do. You see Lix is patrolling the open gaps. He wants to make sure he's playing safe. This is game 1. You don't want to lose this one just because of a hole in a wall. And Yo is on stone. He will hit Feudal Age. And he will go Blacksmith Market and hope for plumes. Max never saw those stones. Never scouted them. And so, what's he going to do here? You know, what's interesting is, yeah, he'll go for crossbows. So he'll go for crossbows, and it will be plumes for Yo.
That's a bugger he didn't see, because it would have been nice to see him make some kind of move over it. But that said, the way he kind of built up, he was prepped for that kind of fast castle strategy. So I think we kind of were expecting that a little bit more. And even then, I don't think he deviated too much, which kind of sucks. But at the same time, all players walled in now. It looks like everyone's getting kind of their final touches up. You can see towards the back, Lix just getting his market up across there. Zappy's finishing in across the right-hand side, so getting towards that southern section as well. And Max is already pretty much good to go. Yo's pretty much good to go at this point.
Yep. Well, so far how this has played out, I do favor SY. Assuming that the castle time will be okay for Yo. It seems like it will be because he's just purchased some food. I really like his position. If his castle goes up immediately when he hits the castle age, it's going to be slightly better than Max's situation. Max is making some archers now. Again, Max will have a short little time window here. Short time frame to do damage because he can make military, whereas his opponent cannot. And maybe with the extra bit in range, he could at least force Yo to build his castle more defensively instead of against the wall.
Well, that's it. If he gets it up to defend those stones, like, that's all 3 of them there. It's pretty much just never end for Yo after that, and his production is just going to be through the roof, which is fantastic. Obviously, the Max of Zappy, they kind of want to deny that as much as possible, but I don't know. Have they? I don't think they've even scouted it yet, so they're not going to kind of know what's going on.
Yeah, but I think naturally he'd probably go to that area because he'd see the walls on the left. So I think Max would probably see it. It's just a matter of when Yo can get the castle up, because it does seem like now he should have the stone when he hits castle age. We'll find out soon enough. The scouts, they're not doing all that much now, as you said, looking for gaps in the walls. Ooh, Lix. Yeah, he runs into some spears there. But they'll be scouting around, trying to see where the army's located. I think it's important for Lix to maybe track where Max is going, because they will expect Max to be going crossbows. But it will be into Castle Age as Lix clicks up, and then, of course, Zupi will be right behind.
Yep, and there we go. Zupi up for it already. A couple of archers just out for the Max in general here. About to tick over into Castle Age, so we will see that crossbow upgrade. And looks like he's getting ready to move out now. Is it up with Zappy at all? It looks like they could be potentially going for a team here. Potentially try and remove some of the scouts for the game, or at least push out together and just try and be a little bit more formidable.
It was just signaled. The stone was just signaled. Max arrived with that low HP scout from earlier. This is the importance of a scout. And he signaled the stone. And Zupi arrives now as well. So everybody getting near that stone. And Yo is building the castle further back, which is a smart placement and will not be denied. I mean, he's obviously still going to get it up. They can see it there. And, yeah, they're talking to each other right now. We can't see it because they're doing it in TeamSpeak. But maybe looking for an area to pressure. I like SY's position because plumed archers are more mobile than the Britain crossbows. Of course, mines can be used later on then for the Finland team. But this is not going to be easy for them.
At this point, no one's going to make this game easy. We're at game 1 here. No one's really playing anything or taking any big risks. It's kind of a standard play from everyone. They're all kind of looking for an area to do some damage, just move in and do that. We've even got some scouting going on by Yo's militia at the moment, trying to find everything that's coming up. He's noticed the town center, noticed you can kind of get in through there. And that castle's just popping up now, and we should hopefully start to see some of those plumed archers on the way.
Oh, F's in the chat for the militia. He's going to get T90 wrecked. But yeah, he did a great job. He did a great job. And this is where Finland can do a great job because they do have the Britain crossbows immediately. Yo has to wait for the plumed archers to mass. He had to build a castle for his units, right? So this puts a little bit of pressure on Lix. Lix is making the knights, and he's at least prepared.
Oh, definitely prepared the way he's going. He's got the triple stable up and ready to go kind of thing. He's got the palisade gates there, so he's managed to delay it a little. Only got 2 spears on the front, couple of crossbows, couple of scout cavalry. Should be able to clean it up relatively easily, provided he's kind of in the right mindset and he's got everything there to do it, and there's not really anything that catches him out.
Yep. Well, he doesn't need to fight this just yet. He can be very patient. I think he can fight this current group of crossbows without seeing as there's no Bodkin era, but yeah, the next group arrives and the scouts just go down. Of course, the scouts are not all that important to Lix anyway. I think he should be very careful. He doesn't want to fight too early, right? Wait for Yo, who's on the other side, and he's on the way.
He's not in a bad situation. He just needs to kind of just hold out in what they're doing. You're absolutely right on that.
Yeah.
Just hold out, get a couple of kills where he can, not overcommit. Because if he overcommits, that's where the Max can kind of just start pushing into his village alliance, things. Whereas if he just kind of sits back like this and just kind of takes it as it comes, he can just deny it long enough for basically Yo to show up like he's doing now. And then we're going to kind of start seeing that make a little bit of a difference.
I'm loving Zupi's movement with the scouts. He distracted so many of Lix's knights, and he's able to pick off a few of Lix's villagers as well. I don't like how Zupi just lost 2 knights. That should not have happened, but a nice little move there, and nice little hill for Finland right in front of Lix's base.
Yeah, it's a really good staging point for them to use overall. It looks like they are leaving it now quickly. But we'll see exactly what they decide to do with it. There is a villager coming forward from Zupi, though, and it'll be what he does decide to do with him.
Probably
are we going to see a siege workshop or a tower?
Monastery. Monastery, yep.
There we go.
So monastery makes sense to get a few knight conversions. Max and Zupi have a huge eco lead. I didn't realize this. 53 vills for Max, 49 for Zupi. It is only 46 for Yo, and 36 for Lix. So Lix is actually pretty far behind here. But he has a lot more military. Let's see. Can Zupi and Max hold this? No monks on the way yet.
Ooh, it's interesting. But looking back at home, the Max is up to his 3rd town center. We've got Zupi up on 3 already. This is where the difference is kicking in.
Yeah, exactly. They went for more eco Finlands. And is that going to haunt them now? Because they are getting overrun. The plumed archers are here. Max is in trouble, really. He doesn't have enough knights from Zupi. And Zupi's really nowhere to be found now because he went for the extra TCs early on. And this is where SY will take full map control. And this is not what you want if you're a Finland player.
Oh, man. They look like they're in such a good position overall here. But this is just getting cleaned up so quickly. But the thing is, they still do have the village lead. They need to make something happen with this military they've got now. They need to push out, start doing some damage. Obviously, going to be able to take that monastery down, get the monk. That's some good, that's a really good starting spot to come from. But they need to move out, and they need to start kind of bringing that villager back to a tie, which you can already see Yo's building up behind this is starting to get there. Lix, though, needs to, again, use that military, make something happen with it.
It's really weird. I almost wonder if this is intentional from Lix. He's on 1 TC. I don't know if it was the circumstances that put him in this situation or if this is intentional. I will keep an eye on it, but he's only on 1 town center. What Finland needs now, they don't really need to fight. They just need to hold, and eventually their extra economy will pay off for them. So it's obviously not over, but it will get difficult because Yo has that mobility. As I said, look at the plumed archers on the left of Max's base. He's going to find a few pickoffs. And Max just simply can't afford to chase, and he also can't get help from his allies' knights as they are stuck in his base.
The big thing I'm kind of noticing is, well, obviously Lix, we had him go free state. I think he went to that knight play kind of straight away, get those units onto the map and try and do some damage at the moment. If they can kind of push in, I'm not sure exactly how they can hold this. There's a lot of knights there, can use quite effectively. But looking around, like, that gold's in the middle of nowhere kind of thing for Zuppy, so I don't know exactly how he'd be able to hold on to that.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe they take map control now, SY, take advantage of that with another castle from Yo on the hill in front of Max's base, and take the stones and golds. But I do think Zuppy and Max can at least hold in Zuppy's base. But, again, mobile plumed archers, mobile Frank Knights, they'll go right over to Max. And Max, he can't deal with this now, and so they're just chasing now Finland, and this is not a great situation to be in.
I'm checking the map right now in the Max. He's got a wood line towards the back that's very exposed. He's got 2 wood lines towards the back that are exposed. He's got gold that's exposed. These knights can come in and they can do damage as soon as we've kind of broken through these archeries.
Yep. Well, just kill the archer ranges here. That's fine. You kill an archer range, you'll kill a crossbow for free. How is Max going to make military to defend if he loses his ranges? Force Finland to address this. It's just still so crazy to me that Lix is so far behind in builds, but a forward castle from Yo. This must have been intentional from SY.
Ooh, I reckon it absolutely was. That thing, the triple stable moving into this play. We've got the forward castle coming down. They're looking to knock Max out, or at least separate him entirely right now. And if they can manage that, and looking around, what's up he got that he can kind of push forward to that? Everything he's got's basically there already.
Yeah.
An Imperial from Yo.
Yo's on the way to Imp, so that was the strat. Get Yo to Imp faster, go for that second forward castle, have Lix all in with knights. It's definitely intentional because he has added more farms. He's adding a second TC now, but this is really the time you can do that comfortably. And Finland's Zuppy, he's receiving sling from Max. Max is just trying to give him a little bit to get him to Imp. They must realize what the situation is. And so Zuppy will be in the Imperial Age, but he'll be behind Yo.
It's getting to that point where it's starting to look dire here. That forward castle's really cemented the position, especially being on the hill as well. And it looks like, wow, Lix and Yo are hungry for it. They're pushing anything they can get here. One knight, that's what they want. They're just getting in, trying to do the damage and moving on. Yo with ballistics, he's going to be able to start getting those picks now, and it's going to matter.
Yeah, I just wonder if Finland's can hold here, they have a lot more economy. 98 fills for Max, 87 for Zuppy. There is a huge eco difference. So as long as Zuppy can hold on to his knight numbers and get Cavalier, I really think that there's a possibility that they could do this, Finland.
Absolutely. It'll come down to the next couple of minutes in terms of the hold.
Yeah.
They managed to hold that off. But we've got stables going down again. We had archeries go down. They're doing their best to kind of hold them down as best they can.
Yeah, and Yo is now getting Thumb Ring, and they have this hill, and pretty much everywhere they have control on the front, they will have hills, which makes it so much more difficult for Finland to fight back. But, you know, you can see in the score now, it's really just because of the economy. Finland are not in an awful position. I think Max should sling as many resources to Zuppy as he needs, just to get him to Cavalier, get him to Paladin even.
And then essentially push into the Death Bowl that's slowly kind of building up out the front of Zuppy at the moment. Like, the options are there, absolutely. It's just a matter of plays out essentially the positioning that's chosen and where the pushes happen, because if that's the thing, they do have a villager lead, but we know how well plumed archers can take out villagers, and that's the thing, if there's 1 or 2 exposed places and they manage to snag those, they'll immediately kind of push themselves ahead. But whether or not they get that, and there we go, Yo's running around with some plumes already, just trying to get a couple here and there.
Yeah, they have to do damage to Max now, I think. I do think that Finland actually has the lead. That's the crazy thing, because it's 43 plumes for Yo, but it's 38 knights for Zuppy, and they will be Cavalier. So this is the type of damage they need to do. Max taking advantage of the cheap Britain TCs, and tossing up TC after TC to protect his villagers and wait for his ally.
Oh, man, I hope the Max is just going to be able to hold this one. Zuppy's coming in, he's trying to do it. Obviously wants to wait for plate, wants to wait for Cavalier before he kind of get out. Tries to get the trebuchets, kind of null and void the engagement here. And he can kind of move back now, hide out, and just wait for this kind of upgrades to kick in. And then once he's there, he'll be able to push out a lot more effectively.
Oh! Lix's base! Zuppy has sent some knights, which are about to be Cavalier, right into Lix's base. Lix is going to be completely screwed. Oh my god.
No.
What a play. That's such a risk. But if it pays off here, that will be huge.
Risk reward. It looks like it could be another one of those game 1 situations where they're trying to race it out, see who can do more damage. But the thing is, Lix can't afford to take as much.
Yeah.
Max is in a great position, 100 villages already. Lix only has 60.
Yep.
And look at those idols under the TC just getting slaughtered.
Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing he can do about this. If Zupi were to send them into all the corners, these Cavalier into all the corners of the eco, it would be trouble for Lix. And will it be trouble for Mr. Yo? He has elite plumed archers. The Cavalier are closing in. And oh my god, that's going to be a sick fight. The unit stopped. They got right past the plumed archers. That is an amazing engagement from Zupi. And Winlands are coming back here in astounding fashion in game 1. Damn.
That's it. They had the eco. They had a near perfect hold. The fact they're in Lix's base now. Look, Lix is still trying to clean it up. There wasn't a whole heap of Cavalier there to do the damage overall.
Yeah.
Yo, he's managed to push back this Cavalier, but it looks like they've just split up a little bit more than that. At the same time, Lix kind of has to stabilize behind this now.
Yeah. Lix is sending Max is sending resources to Max. Max is sending resources to Max. How does that work? He's sending resources to Zupi, sorry. And he's also losing TCs, so he's really not contributing much. But as you said earlier, he does have more to lose than Lix. And that is a lot of Cavalier, man. That is a ton of Cavalier. And Yo can't stay here. And he does? Oh my god!
Not.
That's the game.
What does this do? Yep, he's going to lose everything.
Oh,
he's not going to be able to get away from this.
Goodness.
With the movement, they've got the armor, they've got the upgrades they need. There's going to be so many units here. The crossbow's moving in as well. Trying to get back to that castle. Oh, man, I don't know if it's going to be enough, though. The barracks are getting thrown down. Halberdier on the way. Chainmail. Paladins for Zuppy, though, coming in.
Yeah, Paladin. You know, that could have been much worse, actually. You know, I thought all the plumes were going to die. Somehow, Yo got out of there. And if he gets to Halb and Elite Plume, then maybe they'll be able to hold on here. I just wonder...
Well, Zuppy...
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's it. Zuppy... No, you're right, man. Zuppy's just doing what he can with the Cavalier. The problem is he can't really hold out in the Max's base. And you've got Lix just moving from town center to town center now.
This could be anyone's game. It's such a risk for Zupi to run towards Lix, but... it could win the game. It could lose the game or win the game. We don't know. Yo arrives with a forward castle at Zupi's base. Zupi has no military here. And Lix... he's gonna get wrecked yet again. I almost prefer SY's position, though.
What? SY have been playing phenomenally in terms of their gameplay overall. They had a plan when they moved. Obviously be able to see that one. But, oh man, just looking at Lix's base, it's... again, who can sustain taking the most damage here?
Yeah. And Lix is sending units back. Will Lix get defeated here? I mean, it wouldn't be too surprising, right? You have Paladins versus Knights.
Absolutely, with all the Imperial ups as well. We've got Blast Furnace coming in now. Of course, Plate's already done.
Yep.
And they're Franks as well, so obviously going to have that extra HP boost. So, man, he could just run around, kill off the 2 TCs he has, because he's only really got 2. The third one's already been taken out.
Yep. And Max...
it's dangerous. It's dangerous territory. And even then, you've got Zuppy pushing in on Yo's backdoor as well.
Zupi is amazing. Zupi is amazing, man. He truly is. He's at Yo's base. If he gets into Yo's base, Yo will be in trouble because most of his military is forward. All that Finland need now is an answer. They need an answer to Yo's army, which is currently sitting next to the wood line in Zupi's base. They find that answer, then the game is won. Wow.
We've got the double trebuchet on the front of Zupi there straight away, using both trebuchets to kind of hammer away at this forward push. And really, I don't think that Yo can push into anything that kind of Zupi has yet. If he brings those Paladins home and actually decides to take the engagement, and look at those plumes, they're doing their best.
Oh my goodness. There's so many things to look at here. The plumes will get wrecked. The plumes will get wrecked. Meanwhile, Zupi goes, oh, thank you, Lix. I enjoyed the villager kills. I'm just going to leave your base now through that palisade wall. He just runs away. Beautiful stuff. And it's 170 population for Zupi. It's 170 for Yo. It's still a close game. You know, it might come down to plumes being a bit cheaper than Paladins. Halberdier's not costing gold. I don't know, man. But that was good for Zupi just to clean up the plume numbers.
Oh, absolutely an option there. And what's that? That's a very forward castle coming down now. Will he have enough there to back? He's got a couple of plumes. He's got a bit of help. He's got a lot of scattered army behind it, but if the Paladins do decide to push in on that, they could potentially deny that castle.
Max is
And
doing
looks like he has those trebs to deal with.
Max is doing a great job with his crossbows to clean out every treb he sees. Azupi's been taking all of this gold on the hill, and on the right-hand side, he's been taking more stone. Can he take out the castle here? You know, massive amount of repairs he might be able to, because Paladins are closing in to stop the villagers repairing. It's amazing. How is Zupi keeping these trebs alive? It is truly incredible.
Man, we've got the throwing axes there as well, so really trying at the moment to keep them alive as best he can.
He's gonna
transitioning into that ultimate Franks combo.
He's gonna kill the castle. Oh my god, it went down to 20 HP. He was so close, but his Paladins are still coming back, man. His Paladins are still coming back, and with the Paladins, I think they can clean up the plumes, and then maybe finish off this castle, which is so close.
Absolutely. The trebuchet's out there as well. I don't know if they're going to be able to hold on to this for too long. So those crossbows doing the best they kind of can. Paladins marching around trying to, again, just find something to really do here. Interestingly enough, the Max has kind of been left alone here a little bit to build up again, so he might be actually back in the fight quite soon. He's on 121 villages. He has the most villages in the game.
He's actually in the right-hand corner, booming up. He's found some gold. Azupi's going to take some of it. They're sharing. Can Lix get back into it? That's the question. Can Lix reboom back into this? It's going to take some time, I feel. So it's still Mr. Yo, the captain of SY. And he's doing a hell of a job. He somehow kept that castle up. He's now pushing back Zupi. Zupi, you know, he has Paladins, but Paladins versus Plumes and Halbs, it's not very cost efficient to take those engagements. But he has to.
And that's kind of where you were saying earlier, that's how they might be able to win it out.
Yeah.
If they manage to kind of push it to that late game, they could really do a good job in managing that overall. It looks like we do have a game castle here from Zupi. It looks like he might just be able to get it up too.
A forward castle right on Lix's TC, which is already on fire.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, he's building castles everywhere, really, as he should, to protect the resources. Yo has military numbers. He doesn't have all the military numbers on the front because he's defending Lix, and he will lose all 3 trebuchets to Zupi's Paladins.
Rough stuff. The Paladins, that's the thing, they can move in so easy. Whenever there's an opening, just get straight on top of it, do the damage, and get out. Elite Skirmisher out for the Max as well, so it looks like he's starting to get back into the game as well. We've got Lix just running around with those knights, just trying to make something happen, but he just can't get there.
Yeah, this is a crazy one. This is a crazy game. I gotta give credit to Lix for running his knights around. And I also have to give credit to Lix for being close to clicking up to the Imperial Age somehow. This is just crazy. I mean, Yo and Zupi, they have been full beast mode, man. They have carried their team this game, but I still don't know who's going to win.
Oh, interesting engagement here for Yo. Under the castle, got the plumes coming in.
Yeah.
Gonna try and get away. Hopefully she'll get out. That's a lot of halbs under those castles.
Yeah, he has the halbs and he has the plumes close together. It's a tough comp to move around, the halb and plume, so it's got to be a slow push like this. I think Zupi needs to try and use his mobile units a bit more. I just don't know how he can afford this many paladins. Like, at some point, he will run out of gold, right? That's what it seems like.
Oh, absolutely. There's going to be a point where it hits, where it's just going to be game over on that front. I think they just need to kind of do the damage and end it before then. But look at this stream of health coming from Yo. The thing is, they're just such an easy-to-build unit. They can just continually throw them into the mix here, whereas paladins can't be thrown away.
Yeah, and you almost have to fight this, right? If you're Zupi, you need the gold, you need the stone. I mean, he's repairing the castle, which is keeping it up for a while, so he's killing units with it, which is great. But it feels like he has to patrol in here.
Oh, man, this is looking rough on the front. That castle will go down. The plumes are doing a great job at killing off the villagers. The halbs are working as a quite efficient meat shield here, but the halbs are being whittled away.
Yeah, I'm not sure the castle will go down. The halberdiers are gone now. The plumed archers, they can go in. Here comes Max with the elite skirms. What a game one. Zupi thinks twice about it. He will go back, and the trebuchets from Yo are not all firing on the castle, so I guess it will stay up for now. I also saw that SY might be beginning trade in the corner. Yep, on the west side. They will start trade somehow in this ridiculous game.
Man, you can see the wall coming up to defend it as well. A couple of elite skirmishers there just to try and back, but you have the defensive castle being put up straight away. If they can make it happen, big team wall across the map as well, so they are looking like they are in good shape for that. But again, I don't know how they're going to push into this. The paladins, they're just soaking up so much damage, and they're really just hanging out at the moment. Yeah,
and I think Finland are alerted to the fact that SY will be trading because the wall off from Yo on the left-hand side, so they must know that that's happening. And Max is on the way to the Imperial Age. He's made a few skirms, but skirms, guys, they don't really do much here versus Plumes and versus Halbs either. You would need a big, big ball of them. So Zupi finally loses the castle. He will back up, and maybe he will wait for his ally to get into the game. This has just been an insane game. This is a sign of what is possibly to come in this whole best of 5. This is probably the game of the day for me. I mean, for sure, this has been the best game I've casted. I don't know about you.
Thus far. It's
Yeah.
just been just on and off, man. It's been one way then the other. We still don't know who's going to take it. That's the thing, and I love that. Lix is still quite a bit down overall. He's still only got 66 villages in the whole.
And
there go the Paladins.
Oh man, he failed the wall there. You almost have to stop that villager from walling though, so you can escape with your Paladins. But Lix, you know, he's on his way to that's his Imp TC! That is his Imperial Age TC! If Zupi kills that, that heavily delays Lix from getting back into the game, but he's going for Vills instead. Oh my goodness.
Lucky. Well, he's got a couple on it. He might actually take it down here. It's totally possible.
Yeah.
And there we go, going for the villages again, trying to knock out those monks. But when he's got nothing else to go for, he's only 50% of the way there.
The TC's gonna die. The
Here
TC's
it
gonna
comes.
die. Oh man. That one tile of wall, that's what it can come down to at this level in Age of Empires 2. Also Zupi, who again has been everywhere. He's in the northern corner in the trade in Lix's eco. Wait, no, he let the TC up because of the Vills. No, he didn't.
Oh,
It's
there
dead.
you go, 90 is gone.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Look at Zupi's KD for a second. Look at the mini-map. He is everywhere with his Paladins. This guy is so good. I mean, you guys hear a lot about the Max, but Zupi's just not as active. He's as good, maybe better. And the GG
man,
is
you
called.
give him the chance.
The GG is called.
What?
They are calling it. Lix is pretty much dead. They saw that Max hit the Imperial Age, so they knew that there would be no way back. And Finland win game 1.
There you go.
What a crazy game there, man. What a crazy game. Yo, he pushed forward so hard, took the hill. Lix was just chopping down Max's TCs, but Max held on, Zupi held on, and they found all the answers.
Man, how does something like that happen? They were in such a strong position from the start there, but the hold from, man, just in general, the hold was what did it. They managed to kind of get up, and they stayed up behind everything. They managed to get that resource out, and then the Max as well, obviously learning kind of his place in this game, and he's kind of fed Zuppy up into it. It's just, the teamwork was amazing.
Yep. Well, best thing is for us as casters and for everyone watching this, viewers, that's game 1 of a potential 5. So there will be a lot of exciting games coming up. There's the KD for Max, or sorry, for Zupi. I mean, for all players. Zupi definitely carried there. And it's not like Lix or Max played bad. It was just that that was the strategy. So Zupi was the guy who would be going Paladin. He needed to carry in that role. And Yo, he was going Plumes. He needed to carry in that role. So again,
Exactly.
it's not that Max and Lix. A lot of times spectators are like, "Oh, Lix died. It's Lix's fault." But no, it's how the game plays out, right? A game could have easily played
absolutely.
out with Lix being full Paladin. So there's the
Especially
resources.
in team games.
Yeah, definitely. There's the resources. There's the technology stats, and we are going to move along to game number 2. I've been told. Robo said, Mr. Yo said after the game, after he watched the wreck, that he wouldn't have GG'd if he knew how little gold Suomi had. Interesting. So Yo maybe thought that they had more gold than they did.
Yeah, they must have thought. He must have thought there was no end to kind of this wave. Where if he knew how close they were, he probably could have held on, kept pushing it, and he could have gone at it ham-fisted without Lix even.
Yeah.
Just wait for Lix to kind of build up, and it would have been enough. Whereas the position that we're in, he didn't know that.
Correct.
So
yeah.
they thought it was game over.
I still think so. There were 2 gold piles in Lix's base. Max was already on 1, and Max would have been in the Imperial Age, and at the very least would have had Elite Skirmisher with Bracer and Chemistry. So I still think that with the way Finlands were playing, they would have still won that game had the GG not been called. But regardless, GG was called. Suomi gets the first victory, and the next map will be Sering.